Now this illustration deals with capacitor circuit conductors in accordance with 240.4G and table 240.4G as well as 460.8A. Now let's review the boxed in information to size these conductors and which conductor size would have to be chosen between the controller and the capacitor as we reviewed in the previous illustration. Now, step one, we are calculating conductors at 1/3 rating. We are looking at the requirements of 460.8A as well as table 310.16. A 3/0 conductor, THHN copper, is 200 amps. That's supplying the controller and motor. So 1/3 of 200 is 67.7. So step two, applying table 310.16 and selecting a conductor that would supply 66.7 amps would require number 4. Number 6 is only good for 65, so we need a number 4, which would be 85 amp. Now, continuing on with step 3, we're going to determine what the full load amps of the capacitor would be, or bank, whatever it may be. So 460.8A is still an application here. So the full load amps is kVA times 1,000 divided by the voltage times the square root of 3. So the FLA of the capacitor bank or capacitor is equal to 25 kA times 1,000, and we would come up and divide that by 208 volt times the square root of 3 to come up with a FLA of the capacitor or bank at 69.4 amp. Now we apply the step 4, and when we apply 460.8A, the second method, it's 135% of that capacitor's full load amps. So 69.4 amps times 135% is 93.7. Step 5, we calculated the load now with the golden rule section, 310.14A3, informational note 1 and 2. When I say informational 1, it's item 2. And we would look at our terminal ratings that would be in the same section, but it would be item number 3 to that section. But we do not have any correction factors or adjustment factors. So we can take that 93.7 amps and that would require a number 3 conductor without any correction or adjustment factors, because none of that was listed. And we'd come up with table 310.16. So that would be number 3. So is a number 3 larger than number 4? Now, if we got a little bit mixed up with this, we could review table 310.16 and table 8 to chapter 9, and this is size conductors is outlined perfectly for us. And I'm not saying you get mixed up without your new, and you need to know which tables would be applicable here to understand the sizing. So what is creating the larger conductor? The 135% rule. So the solution and answer, the size THHN copper conductors, based upon the 135% rule of the FLA of the capacitor, would be number 3. So the conductors between the controller and the capacitor would be number 3. And that's what this figure 9-10B is illustrating.